Have you ever become frustrated with the law of attraction or the mirror principle because you're putting the work in, you're doing the action, you're doing what others say you should do, but nothing seems to be changing? If so, you're in the right place, because today I'm going to be going over exactly how long it takes for the mirror principle to start taking effect, for the law of attraction to start working in noticeable ways, and how you can more easily do this so that you're accessing this level of time frame where things are coming in quickly. Now, I will give you, like I said earlier, the kind of time frame it will take for things to begin to shift. Now, thankfully, it's not that long. Now, if you think of most people, how quickly do they give up on doing things like this? I would say usually within a week. A lot of people get motivated. They watch a YouTube video and they're like, you know what? I'm gonna do this. And then a week later, they don't see massive results. And so they give up and go back to the old story. Like I said, the universe balances things out and the universe is fine because it's like, okay, keep their outer world the same. Their inner world's gone back to doing that anyway. So now we have balance. But very few people go beyond that. And this is why very few people change, because it's 6 to 8 weeks of concentrated, focused particle flow, which just means energy focused in a particular direction. So for example, on who you need to become versus on who you've been up to now, which has led to your current circumstances, 6 to 8 weeks leads to dramatic results in the outer world. This is called the quantum to Newtonian transition point. This is why this works. This is a huge principle with the mirror principle, or a huge idea with the mirror principle, and that the outer world follows the inner. So 6 to 8 weeks of focus in the inner world, focused particle flow in a specific direction, right? And so what that means is you're now focused and living from a place of abundance or love or gratitude, or the emotions that the person you're aiming to become would be living from. You are connecting to those emotions now and living them now. So who you need to become, what emotions, what energy, what feelings, what are they connecting to? What radio station are they tuning into energetically every single day for most of the day? If you maintain that for about 6 to 8 weeks, dramatic changes in the physical world for the positive that align with that will start to come in. Again, the quantum to Newtonian transition point. And I like to use the radio analogy because let's say you're tuned to a certain radio station, and let's say this is the radio station of your old story and you're staying on that radio station. Well, you're not going to be able to have the dream life or the things that you want play on that radio station. If you stay on the old story radio station, only songs that support the old story will start coming through, right? Because that's the frequency you're resonating on. And through the mirror principle, because inwardly that's the frequency you're on, the energy you're in, you will get the equivalent of that in your outer world. It will reflect in your outer world. But let's say you turn that and choose a new frequency, a new radio station, and suddenly now you're on the person I need to become. And you're just on that station now in the moment, much more often. And you're tuning to that station and you just stay there. You manage to stay there. And you do these things that we're talking about in this video. Well, if you stay on that, there might be a little bit of residue from the other station. Some of those songs are still playing, and it takes maybe a little bit of time to fully adjust to that new station. But eventually, if you stay on it long enough, you're going to start getting songs that support you in this new version of you. You're going to start getting songs that support you in this highest version of you. And just keep in mind, when I'm mentioning songs, I mean certain circumstances, certain inspirations, certain things coming into your life, being attracted to you because you're resonating at that frequency. And again, 6 to 8 weeks of, for the most part at least, staying on that station, the station of who you need to become. Through the mirror principle, it will start to reflect in your outer world. 6 to 8 weeks leads to dramatic changes, meaning you can shift your life completely. This is why in the program I take people through, we do 6 months, because usually people have a lot of trouble staying in those 6 to 8 weeks because their old story kind of comes in and out. But by the end of those 6 months of just going deep into this, having coaching every single week with a group of people who are all going through this, having a positive peer group that supports each other, an accountability partner, some of the best information and wisdom and tools that you can use, 6 months of that, you think your world and reality wouldn't shift? Of course it does. They all come out with an upgraded version of themselves, coming from what we call through me, coming from kind of like the butterfly state, caterpillar to butterfly. And this is because they're now tuned into that station. They have access to that station because we show them how, and they stay on it long enough. And because of that, magical things start manifesting in their life. We have members right now who are like having money come out of nowhere from all over the place. We had one member who, actually, this is a great example. We had one member member where she lost her job that was really heavy and she was kind of thinking about leaving anyway, but she lost that job, and I think a week or two later, she got a new job. It's much more aligned to her dream job. She loves it more. She's getting paid more to do it, and it also gives her the space to explore some things she's been wanting to explore for a very long time. Why was she able to do that? Because we got her to go onto that who do I need to become frequency, to stay there, to stay resonating that, and then through the mirror principle, she reflected that outward. What would have happened if when she lost a job, she went back to the old story? Nothing would have changed because she stayed in it. The universe is like, we have to balance this out. She's not going back to the old story. Okay, balance it out with that new job that's much more aligned. This is how it works. I've seen it work for so many people, not just people I've helped coach through this, but for people who have just told me their stories, or friends who are also coaches who have seen this happen, or people who I'm just peers with who have similar stories. This is how it works through the mirror principle. If you stay on that long enough, through the law of balance, through the quantum to Newtonian transition point, by law, works every time, every single time, right? Every time for every single person, it will reflect in the outer. So just keep in mind that there is this lag period. It's absolutely plugged into the way life works. It's there for a reason, to maintain balance and just to expect it. Again, so many people give up after a week or two. And if you were to fully commit for 2, 3, 4 weeks, you would start to notice little changes. But again, you get to that 6 to 8 week point, you're able to sustain that, to maintain that. You're going to see massive changes in your life. Now check out this video next if you want to learn exactly how the mirror principle works and one of the most important steps you cannot skip if you want it to work quickly in your life.